back to Inspired Method Marketing YouTube channel. We are here today to talk about the challenges of running a family business. My name is Karen and this is my husband Trevor.
Hi.
And Zig Ziglar has been quoted saying, "The chief cause of failure and unhappiness is trading what you want most for what you want right now."
So true.
So true. So many of us are guilty of this in our personal lives, our business lives, our family lives. Industry Canada says that 15% of businesses fail in year one. 30% fail by year two, and 50% fail by year 5.
Wow.
Those aren't very good odds, are they?
Not good odds at all, but that's why we're here.
That's
right. Why we're making these marketing videos and why we exist as a business. So today's topic about the challenges of running a family business. We have had the goal for a long time to work together on a business. And it has its ups and downs.
Yep.
And today we're going to be dishing the dirt on what it's like to run a family business. So what are some questions that you might have that we want to share with you?
Okay, so you guys might be asking these questions. We're going to give you the rundown with the answers. What was the reason that you wanted to run a business together?
Well, it all comes down to...
I want to know. What does it come down to?
The biggest reason was I wanted to do something with you, right? That was the main reason. I wanted to have a business that we could both work together, where we could go down the same path, have the same goals and vision, and work it together as a team. That's really what I wanted. And, you know, I really value our family and being with our kids, and I wanted to maximize that amount of time because we only have so long with them when they're little. And, you know, being away from you and from the children for many hours a day, doing something I didn't really care for or wasn't really passionate about anyways, made me feel like I was just going through the motions and, you know, just earning a paycheck. So that's really the big reason why I wanted to start a business with you.
Yeah, I can testify to all of that. What was it like operating the business in the beginning? It's been 1 year since we've started officially operating. What was it like at the very beginning? Can you remember back a year ago?
Yeah, so when we first started, it was good. I mean, you know, we started working together and, you know, just learning how to be in the same room together was the biggest challenge because I was going from a trades background, you know, always working with construction crews, working with, you know, noise and, you know, adults. And, you know, so when there's more children around during the day, it was a bit of an adjustment for sure. And I know it was an adjustment for you having me around because you had gone so many years without me being in the same room with you. So there was an adjustment period there for sure. And, you know, at the beginning, it was just really trying to, you know, feel it out and see how, you know, we could make this work, right? So figuring out schedules and figuring out what my roles were and all those sorts of things. So that's what it was like in the beginning.
So what was a big challenge that you had to overcome in those first few days or those first days? Yeah,
the biggest challenge was really figuring out what our major offering was going to be, right? And who to talk to, what our target demographic was going to be. And so that's on the business side, but on the personal side, working together at home was, you know, figuring out a schedule of what's going to work, right? So what time we get up, when are we contacting new clients, when are we, you know, prospecting and networking, what stuff am I doing and what stuff are you doing? Those were all part of the whole game. And then also trying to keep the children at bay because they're always wanting to have your attention, seeing as you're home now, it must be playtime. So
or interrupt time.
Or interrupt time. I need this, I need that. So there was a lot of challenges at the beginning with that.
How did you determine those business roles?
Well, really finding out what my strengths are and my background, and determining what your strengths were and what your background is, and seeing what you preferred to do and what you're better at. And that was, something that we didn't hit right off the front lines. And that was part of the challenge, right?
Still is.
Still is, yeah. Trying to figure out whose roles are what. It's more defined now, which is good. After a year of operating and working together as a family, and our dynamic has changed a lot. I'm in an office now. I'm not at home, whereas you're still working at home, and so that was the biggest thing, just determining what you're good at. You like the social media side of things more than I do. For me, it's more of a distraction. And I like more the client facing and a little bit of the technical side of things. So really, my role is to help build and grow the business, and your role is to keep the wheels running and
nourishing it.
Yeah.
That's the way I would describe it. I have to say that we are in the top 85%. If you remember that statistic at the beginning, it said that year one, 15% fail. Well, we've already beat out 15% of the other people. It's just going to get better from here.
That's right.
So we made it to year one. So how difficult has it been to switch or flip from work to home, being that our work and our home was in the same space in the beginning?
Well,
you can hear the work going on around us, the phone in the background.
We're living and working in the same space here.
Yeah.
So the question was,
how did you switch from, or I guess flip the switch from work to home? How difficult is that? Just, when you're in your home and you're working, how do you keep that flip? How do you flip that switch so that you're in work mode as opposed to doing the laundry, doing the dishes, making supper?
Yeah,
that's the kids.
I don't think there's a good answer for that.
The answer is
right?
me.
The answer is you. Really, I believe, you should be able to turn the switch off, because if you're always thinking about working and always, concerned about what's happening at work or how client things went, and you're, at home having dinner with the family or sitting down and relaxing, and you're thinking about work and thinking about business things, then you're always on and always thinking about it, so you can get a little bit of fatigue and maybe resentment towards the work, right?
Burnout, yeah.
Get burnt out and just not loving it anymore. So I think you have to create that demarcation between work life and home life, to be healthy.
Okay. And so then you're saying that it's important to separate the work life and the home life, and how important is that? What happens if you don't?
Well, what is going to happen, like I alluded to earlier, is there's, I think, going to be some resentment because you're always either thinking about work, doing work, or talking about work. And the kids will feel, like they're being neglected, right? So if you are wanting to spend quality time with them, but then you're being interrupted by social media or by emails or phone calls, or just
even sitting at the computer, they just look at you. You're gonna sit there again? Do you have to sit there and do that? Yeah, they don't really care for that.
Yeah, so I think it's healthy for families, healthy for home-based businesses to be able to set up separate work and family space in order to make things healthy for the home and for the business.
Sure. How different is the dynamic working with your wife than working with the non-family member? How different is that?
Well, that's a really good question. Working together with you, I like it in the sense that we are pulling together, right? Because you understand where I'm headed, and you're involved in the business, and you understand where we want to go. And having you as a close, the closest person to me, there's just a different dynamic, and it's a little bit more exciting when we win. And then when you're working with someone who is not a family member, then you can have a bit more separation. So if you say something, it's just business, and whereas with a husband and wife team, sometimes feelings can get hurt, or when arguments can ensue because of familiarity. And when not meaning to be. So I think there's, you know, some ways to communicate and ways to separate your feelings between being my business partner and wife and husband, that sort of thing. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just taking each other for granted, I guess. Yeah, and it's never easy making money in that first year either, so that's another thing. Unless you have a lot of savings in the bank, it's stressful in that sense as well. So you really have to know why you're doing it and pull together as a team to keep going. And that's probably one of the reasons the statistics show what they show. It's hard in the beginning. What is one of the most challenging things being self-employed and working with family?
Well, being self-employed and working with the family, big challenge is, like you were mentioning there, the uncertainty, right? So dealing and living with uncertainty is a big deal. You have to know where you're going and why you're doing it. And knowing that, you know, in the beginning, it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder than anything that you've done before. And you're not getting that steady, you know, regular paycheck to depend on. Sometimes people are late paying their bills. Sometimes, you know, you have to wait that extended period, and it can be, you know, a little stressful and nerve-wracking. So that's one thing that comes up. I don't know, what do you think on that front?
Yeah, although I do feel like that can happen when you're working, like especially in Alberta in the last few years. It's been so unstable here. Like you never knew if you had a job. In fact, we went through a layoff, and you really can't count on it anyway. But I guess you just weigh the risks. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us today on Inspired Method Marketing YouTube channel. We are your Edmonton business coach here in the city, and we will have more content for you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you got something out of it, and contact us if you need more help with your marketing. Bye.